Hi,
Hi, Susan.
how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay.
Could I see what your shirt says?
I have to put the light on. Can you see?
It says women belong in all the places where decisions are being made.
And it's Ruth Bader.
Yeah. I saw a cute sign today that said, Biden, do it for truth. And it had the U was her robe, whatever that thing is.
Yeah,
Yeah. So cute. Yeah. Yeah, you have a light in the background
I
that's
know, it's the window. I think I need to turn around.
so pretty outside.
There, now you can see it.
Yes, I can. That's true. I turned around. Okay. Okay. That works. Do you remember I had some dizziness?
Yes,
See that? And it was pretty bad that day, and then it's slowly dissipated.
really. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm glad too, but it's, I don't know why. So, but
Huh.
I heard that people have this problem, just like you said.
Yes, I had it.
Yeah.
Alan used to see a lot of patients with it.
Huh. And what was it that he put behind your ears?
Oh, you mean like a scopolamine patch?
Yeah, I
Is
can
that what
hear.
that was? Okay.
More for
Okay.
people who have seasickness, but it worked.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
But you won't believe what the best method is to treat positional vertigo. PT, physical therapy, balance therapy.
Okay.
No, I'm serious.
No, I believe you're serious. Yep. It's just that's what we're trying to do.
Well,
Yeah.
but it's a different type of therapy a little bit.
Right. I understand what you mean. So specifically for that.
Yes, it's what they call a habituation or adaptation process. You do it repetitively to the point where soon you begin to experience the vertigo considerably less until it goes away.
Wow. Huh. How are you feeling, both of you?
I'm good.
Good.
Are you here?
Am I here?
Are you in
Yes,
this area
yes,
where
yes.
I live,
Yeah,
or are you
we're
somewhere
here.
else? Okay.
We're here.
Okay.
We're in real time.
We're
We're
gonna
what?
start on your back. I'm not sure whether anyone's coming. I don't see anyone else here, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be here. So I'm just going to ask you to start on your back. We're just do a little bit of calming work on your back. So as you're lying down, I want you to notice what's touching the mat, and then just try to create a little space in your waist. So you're trying to take the hips away from the ribs and the ribs away from the hips, and then just notice what's touching the mat. Maybe it's your skull, maybe it's your shoulder blades, shoulders in some way, the pelvis. And then just breathe here. You're just going to take an inhale through the nose. And as you take an exhale, just let your body just even be heavier on the mat, as though you're doing a very present Shavasana. And then from here, we're just going to start to move our legs. So you're going to take your toes to the outside of your mat. And then you're just going to knock your knees in and out. So keep your feet where they are. Just let your knees knock in together and then apart. And if it bothers you in some way because of alignment issues, then go ahead and take the foot a little bit less wide, because I just noticed my knee bothered me a little, so I took my foot a little less wide. So it's just opening and closing the legs a little bit at the hip joint. Do it a couple more times, just notice. As your legs come apart, you might notice that the sit bones come a little closer together. And as your knees get closer together, your sit bones widen. You just might feel that. And then let the feet come more parallel and in line with your sit bones. And just find a gentle shoulder bridge. You're just going to roll up and down through your spine. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You're just kind of finding space and articulation and just noticing the areas that touch. Maybe they touch ahead of their time. Maybe they're supposed to wait until the vertebra right before that touches. And then just fold your knees in toward your chest. You can hold behind the knee. Just let your lower back relax. You might have to make some adjustments so your neck is long. You might even have to put something underneath your head so that the head feels in line with your spine. And then here you're just going to take opposite leg circles. So one hand is guiding the, that's right, yep. And that should feel good. And then place your right foot down on the mat with the knee bent and place your left leg up toward the ceiling. And you're just going to get a stretch in the back of the leg. So you can hold on to the back of the leg, the back of the knee, the back of the calf. You're going to circle the ankle and point and flex. You're just getting a stretch to the back of the leg. And then you'll switch that. You put that foot down and then the other leg comes up. And I have my thumb of my left hand kind of in the crease of my left hip to keep that nice and loose there. And I'm going to stretch the hamstring. Point and flex, circle the ankle. And we'll just do a little core exercise to begin. So you're just going to bend both knees in towards your chest again. Your arms are going to go down by your side. They could be a little wide, right? But not up by your shoulders, just kind of somewhere in the middle there. And you're just going to drop your knees to one side. And they might go all the way down. It depends on your flexibility. You could even take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh to kind of hold that leg in place. Your hips are on top of one another. And if it feels comfortable, you're looking to your left. Just noticing. Now, this is not necessarily the core work, but this part is. So as you take an inhale, take an exhale and draw everything back to the center. See if you can use your abdominals for that. And then you'll take your knees over to the left. You might want to take your left hand on the outside of that right thigh and encourage it to lengthen so that the knees are stacked, your hips are stacked. You could take your head and slowly turn it to your right. Now my right shoulder is off the mat, so I'm not concerned, but if you are, you could bring your legs a little bit closer toward the middle of your body and take that right shoulder down. But just stretch here. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, use your core muscles to bring your legs back to the center and your head back to the center. Now we're going to take out the part of the stretchiness and instead use your core. So your knees are going to go to the right. You're not going to touch down. You're going to look to the left. Then you're going to bring your legs back to the center, head back to the center. Knees go left, head goes right. Exhale back to the center, and then just keep doing that. If you want to make it a little harder on your core, you can straighten the legs a little. Right? So they're not completely tabletop, they're just a little longer than that. Yeah, nice. So you're finding some rotation in your spine. We're going to do a lot of rotation today, so I just wanted to get it while you're down here. And hopefully you feel a little bit of rotation that's happening from your waist down, maybe even feeling it in the rib cage. And then hug the knees in one more time. Now, if it feels right to you, you get to decide. You're going to come to a seated position, but you could take your knees off to one side and roll off to one side to come to a seat. Or I'm going to rock and roll a little bit here in the middle. Yeah, you're already there. I'm going to rock and roll and come up. All right, now we're here. And we're just going to sit cross-legged just for a moment so you don't have to, you can put something underneath your seat if that felt okay to do. We're just going to take a little bit of a rotation, but now the rotation is coming from our upper spine. So you're just going to rotate to one side, twisting, and then to the other. You can take your time. You don't have to go as quickly as I'm going. I want you to see if you can sit as tall as you can. Try not to curl the spine or arch the spine. It's just a twist. That's it. And then notice the muscles that are doing the twist for you. And bring it back to the center with those muscles too. Same idea, only now we're doing a side bend. And actually, if your legs bother you in that way, you could bring them somewhere else because this is just a side bend. And you don't have to use your arm for your side bend. You can just let your spine do it. You're just moving the spine a little. Just a couple more, just really finding some space in your waist to do it. And noticing that you don't have to try so hard with your neck. It's really the ribs have to move. The ribs are actually shifting and bending so that your neck just comes along with it. That was my newest discovery, was I don't have to do my neck so much. If I can move my ribs, my neck can just come along for the ride. All right, let's go ahead and come on to hands and knees. Everybody okay on hands and knees today? Yeah? I'm gonna get my little pad. So I'm just gonna do a few cat-cow. So just moving through these shapes of your spine. And one thing I'd like to ask you to do is when you arch your spine, you're going to curl your toes so that your feet get some work. And when you curl your spine, you're going to take the top of the feet down. So just noticing, and maybe in between the shapes, you can add a little forward and backward motion. Just, you know, your choice. The neck is still long. Put some weight into your hands. So we're going to go all the way down on the belly. You're going to take your spine all the way down. So we were on our back, now we're on our belly. You're going to fold your hands underneath your forehead, and you're just going to see how it feels to take a long spine here. So you might feel that your lower back is a little compressed, so you might want to curl the tailbone under, pull the belly in, pull the ribs in, relax your shoulders, and then just take time to be here and see if you can elongate the sides of your body. We'll slide our hands underneath the shoulders. And then we're finding a little back bend. So start to engage the muscles of your back, right around your shoulder blades, and open the chest so you can come forward and up. Your legs are getting heavier. So actually your knees can lift, but the feet stay down. And do that a couple times. Go down and up a couple times. Keep the belly zipped in as you do it. So you want to get your back muscles working. We got our sides, we got to twist, we got our abs working, so we're ready. And when you're finished, you're just going to sit back and do a child's pose. Wide knees. Just get what you need out of this child's pose, just a stretch. Keep breathing. This is a good place to notice your breath. You should be able to feel that the breath goes into your back, your upper back, that kind of expands it. It feels like the wind blew and you're really expanding your back. From here, you're going to come up onto hands and knees. And we're just going to practice this one balance that I find a little bit harder than usual. So most of the time, we have our knees underneath our hips and our hands underneath our shoulders, and we do opposite limbs. You know, you bring your right arm out and the left leg, and they're in opposition. So you want to make sure that you can feel the weight evenly distributed on the right side and the left side. But if we were to take your, I'm going to show it to you on the other side. So I'm going to show you that my knee now is going to go out to the side. It was straight out, but now it's going to be bent like this, like a frog, like a fire hydrant. So if we were to take arms and legs from this long position and we bring the right arm into cactus and our left leg into frog, that's just really hard. And I think it's only hard because we don't do it that often. And then put those limbs down for a moment and just circle your hips around. And you know how we usually take elbow to knee, right? We're going to try that on that same leg. So now same arm, right arm goes out, left leg goes out. And then you curl and take the right elbow to the left knee underneath you. And then you reach it long. And you do that 2 more times. You try to stay evenly weighted on one side and the other. And 1 more. And then hold it here for a moment. Now take that right elbow and bend it like cactus. Take that left leg and bend it like frog. And now bring that right elbow and left knee together underneath you. And then take it apart. Isn't that hard?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then take it together. I think it's just because we don't do it. And then 1 more. Oh my. And then we're finished that. So I want you to come into down dog. We're going to come back to the other side for a moment, but we're just going to go into our down dog. So pedal it out. Let the sit bones high. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Get what you need here. And then from here, we're just going to walk our feet in closer to our hands, hands closer to our feet. So we're just going to find a forward fold here. So just really let your head relax. You can bend your knees. Try to put the weight into the front of the feet as well as the back. Just let your back relax. And then we'll round our spine up to a standing position just for a moment. So you might not be able to see me. That's okay. I can see you. I just want you to stand. And then here, just add that twist and that side bend. So the twist is a very easy twist that looks like this. You're just kind of spinning, right? So you're letting your feet move too, though. I don't know if you can see my feet. My feet have to lift off as well, right? Yep. And so you're just moving side to side, twisting through the ribs, twisting through your hips, twisting through your ankles even. Should feel good. And then we'll take a little bit of a side bend here. So typically you steeple your fingers and you take your arms over your head. But if that doesn't work for you because of shoulders or whatever, so you always want to like drop your shoulder blades down. And you're just going to round up and over to one side. You don't even have to have your arms here. Again, you can just go like this. But we already talked about the fact that it's the spine that's bending. So don't just try to do it all in the neck, right? It's like that whole spine creates this nice curve. So I wasn't always able to have my arms straight and have it feel good. So I get it. It took me a long time to feel comfortable here. I bent my elbows a lot. Maybe I took my hands back behind my neck, you know. All right. So we're going to stand at the back of our mat. So, but standing so that you're going to be in that same position that you were in all fours, but we're going to get to it a little differently. So, you're going to stand strong in your legs. You're going to bring your arms up so they actually go back and up. Back and up. 2 more times. So just a nice free swing of the arms backward and yep, good. Now, roll your spine down. Dive it down. Once you get your hands down toward your feet, you're just going to walk out to where you're in your hands and knees again. And so once you're here, We're going to be on the opposite side. So now your left arm goes out and the right leg goes out and lifts. So hold it here, and the challenge is to make sure that the hips are square here and that your lower back isn't sagging. And now let's put that down for a moment. Let's get back into where you're evenly weighted. Pull the stomach in, relax your shoulders. As soon as I do that, that gets right into my core and out of my shoulders and my neck. Now I'm going to bring my left arm forward, right leg back again. Now I'm going to bend my left elbow into goalpost and my right leg bends into its frog shape. I'm just going to try to hold that for a moment. So my weight shifts over to my right hand. I'm trying to get my weight to shift over to the left a little bit. And then go ahead and put those limbs down. Circle the hips. So now we're doing that elbow to knee thing. Won't that be fun? And then it'll all be over. Yeah. So coming back, making sure that the shoulders are a bit comfortable. So that just means I have to draw my power back into my armpits and my back muscles, my shoulder blade muscles. Lift the belly. So same thing, left, was that it? Left arm?
Yeah.
Right leg, good. Now, you're going to take that left elbow, meet the right knee in the center of your body as you curl, and then stretch out. And you're doing it 2 more times. Go slowly so you can feel it. Keep the weight into the left knee so it's not all into that right shoulder. Now extend the limbs. Bend the left elbow into your cactus. Bend the right knee into your frog. Now you're meeting that left elbow with the right knee underneath you. And then taking them back to their sides. And then meeting in the center. Back to the side. Boy, this is a lot of work. And then one more time. Oh, sorry. And then, child's pose. How was that? Did you guys feel what I felt and how that was difficult?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's unusual. All right, let's have a seat. Just gonna, and face me if you can. We're just gonna do this part a little bit earlier. So we're taking our feet together, knees apart. And then you're just gonna fold one leg over the other. And at first, this is just about the leg moving. Leg is internally rotating here, and then it's externally rotating. And you just keep doing that. And eventually we'll add a little twist to this, but just keep doing this. This is to help get the hips a little bit more open and mobile. See if you can move your legs, Susan, a little bit by itself before you take the rest of your body over. Yeah. So in other words, my leg goes like this before I come on over. Yeah. Now, coming to your right, you're going to take your left leg back. And so what you're trying to do is internally rotate this leg and externally rotate this leg. And then you're going to stay tall. And then you're going to try to twist around to your right. You just feel a really big stretch, I think, in the inner thigh of the left leg. Anyone feel that?
Yes.
Oh, geez. And then come back to the center. Take that left leg on top of the right so that you can go to the other side and do that. So now this right leg goes out. And you get that first, and you're trying to sit as tall as you can on both sit bones, which is nearly impossible, right? And this right leg is internally rotated, this is externally rotated, and you're going to twist around the left leg, but stay tall and Keep dropping the hips down as much as you can. You can use your arms to help you stay tall. Notice the rotation. And then come to the center. And then take that leg on top of that one and then open it up. So now open your legs a little bit wider. So not all the way out here, but someplace that's fairly wide. And you can take your hands behind you to see if you can get a tall spine. So it depends on the length of your arms, but I can put my fist down and shoulders relax, and I can sort of use my arms to lift my hips off a little bit, to dangle my hips. But I think it depends on body proportions. All right, sitting back down again, you're gonna take your right leg and bend the knee and have that right foot in the inner thigh of the left. Your left knee and toes are facing up. If you wanna add a block, it's right underneath this leg here, might help. And so this is not a rounded spine. You're gonna try to be nice tall spine, and you're gonna stick your hips out a little bit, your butt out, and then you're gonna turn a little to your left and hinge forward over this left leg. Getting a hamstring stretch, but you're also getting a spine stretch. Doesn't matter, you're not trying to get your chin to your shin, you're trying to get the lowest rib to your thigh. Keeping the back, that low back nicely not rounded. And then you'll come up from there, take that left leg right in line with your left hip and cross the right leg over. So here's our twist again. You're going to get nice and tall, and you're going to twist from your ribs to your right. You can take this left elbow on the inside, on the outside, sorry. And you're trying to get as tall as you can. So you're drawing your shoulders back, your head back, you're breathing, you're sitting as tall as you can, pulling the belly in and up, and then come back to the center. Now, just to get rid of all of that, you're just gonna take your arms behind you and just shake the legs out, and you're almost kind of lazy here. Feels really good. You're just really lazy. You're at the beach. All right, now other side. Legs are not terribly wide, but fairly wide, sitting tall on the sit bones. You're going to go ahead and tuck the left foot in. Again, if you want to block, it goes right here. And that way you can be nice and tall in the spine, and then you're going to twist a little, turn a little over to your right, and then you're going to stick your butt back and you're going to hinge forward. So you'll feel a stretch in the hamstrings, but you should also feel a stretch in your back. I don't go very far because I want to maintain my neutral spine. I don't want to curl it. So I'm here. The more I stick my butt out, the more room I make. Your right knee and toes are facing up. Your chest is open. It doesn't mean you can't relax your head though, right? Your head could drop. It's just that you're not rounding your lower spine. Pull the belly in. Walk your hands closer so that they can assist you to come up. And then you're going to take your right leg in line with your hip and then cross the left leg over. And here's your twist to your left. So you can be nice and tall. And this right elbow is on the outside of the left thigh. And your left arm is behind you, and you're using it to propel you up and twist. So avoid leaning too far to your left. You want to get your right sit bone down, and your shoulders are down, your jaw is easy. The twist comes from your rib cage, belly's in. It doesn't come from your shoulders or yanking your neck. Take a nice breath here. And then come back to the center. And again, just release everything. So we got that out of the way. And then I'm going to ask you to come to a plank on your mat. So, and it could be a knee down plank if you want. But you're finding a plank. I'm going to find a knee down plank. So my shoulders are right over my wrists. My belly's pulled in. I think I will curl my toes and lift myself up into a full plank. And it's harder because I have to use my belly. I can't sag my lower back. And then you're just going to come into your down dog. So maybe you walk your hands in a little bit or your feet in a little bit so you can feel this down dog. Lift the right leg. Stack your hips by adding a little twist to that lower spine. Bend the right knee and circle the leg in the hip socket. Try to keep your arms straight, your head right between your arms, and the sides of your body long. Bring that leg back down. Switch your legs. Left leg lifts, stretches, hip stack. The knee bends and you circle the leg in the hip socket, but nothing else moves. So make sure your head, neck, and shoulders are dangling, right? I mean, your head is dangling between your arms. Your side body's nice and long. Now, you're going to square off your hips. You're going to bend that left knee. Look toward the top of your mat. Slide your foot in between your hands and take that right knee down to the mat. And once you're here, you're just going to lift your hands. Take the top of your right foot down to the mat. Take your hands to your thigh. So here, I'm leaning a little forward. I want you to see if you can be straight up and down. And then make sure that that left knee is right over the left heel. And here, you're going to drop your hips down so that this left hip tends to pop up. Everything's down. And then you're going to take your hands on your shoulders, fingers on your shoulders, and you're just going to circle. So it should feel good. Susan, does that feel good?
Yes.
Okay, so you want most of this work to feel good. So go in the opposite direction. Remember, the elbows are leading. I know you can't see my elbows, but they're leading. So there's a lot of movement that's happening. So my elbows are going all the way around. Now, you're going to go ahead and take your hands back behind your neck. This is tricky. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. And then you're going to twist to the right. No, I'm sorry. You're going to twist to the left. And then back to the center. Do that one more time, just like that. And back to the center. Now this time you're going to twist and take your arms out to the, so your right arm goes in front, left arm goes behind. And then take your arms down a little and back up. And then down a little. Make sure you're having your weight evenly placed. It's not just on that right knee. Now you're going to take your hands back behind your neck and bring yourself back to the center. Now take your hands and frame your left foot. Curl the right toes. Take that right knee off. And then just rock a little forward and backward like we usually do, trying to get some of the hips open here, right? So the front of my back hip gets stretched as I come forward. The back of my right leg gets stretched as I go backward. Now we're coming into a little bit of a balance here, so I'm going to ask you to bend your left knee so that you can feel some weight on that left foot. Hands are going to go in front of that left leg, and you're going to see if you can launch the right leg up. So this is warrior 3. The right toes face down. If you can, take your left hand up and find your heart. If it works for you, you take your right hand up and find your heart as well. So hands to heart. I don't know that I can do that, but I'm going to try. Then the hands go down. Take your right foot back into your crescent lunge. You with me?
Yes.
So now keep your right hand down and twist to the left again. Now go ahead, take that hand down. Now we are coming into crescent lunge with our hands up. So I take this little pit stop toward my left thigh. And now I'm straight up and down. I'm going to take my hands on my hips to square off my hips. How you doing?
Okay.
All right, we're good-ish?
Yep.
Because now you're going to stand into the left leg and bring your right leg to join it, and you're standing. We did it. So shake it out. And then just walk back to the back of your mat again. I don't know whether to wait for him or not. I guess I won't. We'll just move on. So I'm actually going to have the back of my mat be here now so that you can see me. So we're back where we started, but we're now doing the other leg. So it was our left leg forward. So what I want you to do is find a back bend here and then curl yourself down and walk out into your plank. So again, you could have a knee down plank, right? Totally fine. It's actually a lot of work. But as soon as you tuck your toes and lift your hips, it's that much more work of the lower body. So hold it here for a moment so you can own it. And then you're coming into your down dog. So you're lifting your hips up. Maybe you separate your feet a little so you can find your nicely spaced down dog. That was good. Now you're going to lift your right leg. Stretch it. This is called a down dog split or three-legged down dog. Now you're going to bend the knee, look toward the top of your mat, and slide your right foot in between your hands. Then you drop your back knee down. Then you rise up onto the right thigh. So we're where we started. So just pause a moment, take the top of the left foot down. Just notice how you feel. I like to take my hands on my hips to kind of square them off to make sure one isn't higher than the other or forward more than the other. Pull the belly in, relax your shoulders. And here we're going to do that same twist. So take your hands back behind your neck, traction your neck, and then you'll twist to your right on an inhale. And then exhale back to the center. Make sure it's the center. Inhale, twist. Make sure it's really twisted. Exhale, center. One more time, don't yank on your neck. Twist from the rib cage. Now stay twisted and open the arms. So now you have your left arm forward, right arm back. Twist that chest. Stretch through the arms, stretch to the crown of the head. Pull the belly in. It's hard. Take your hands back behind your neck and come back to the center. Stay here a moment. Then take your hands, frame that right foot, lift the back knee, curl the back toes, and then rock backward and forward. So getting your nice stretches here. So do what works for you. This is a great place to have your blocks underneath your hands if you wanted to do that. You're on railroad tracks. The belly's still working. Lots of times because our right leg is forward, our right hip tends to come forward, so you want to pull that right hip back. Now we're coming into that standing warrior 3. So you want to bend into the right knee. Take your hands a little forward of that right leg so your left leg can lift. Make sure that the lower back is not sagging. If you can, you're lifting your head up in line with your hips. And then maybe taking your right hand to your heart. Maybe the left hand goes too. Very different. And take your hands down. Take that left leg back into your crescent lunge. Are you good?
Mhm.
Now we're going to come into a standing position in our crescent lunge. So your hands go to your thigh, maybe, and then try to get straight up and down here. And I don't remember what we did any more than this. Do you remember, Susan or Alan?
No.
No? It's
No.
okay.
I think we did our arms up and around.
Yeah. Maybe we just did we moved our arms.
Or we did this.
Oh, thank
Shoulders.
Okie dokie. Good going. Yeah, getting all of that movement because I'm trying to distract you from the fact that you're in your crescent lunge for a while. That's really what's happening. And then let's go ahead and frame oh no, I know what we did. You stayed here. It's when Alan left the room, right? And Susan and I tried to take the weight into the right leg to bring the left leg forward.
Right.
Yeah, so now you're standing. Shake it out. That was good. So we'll find a standing balance here. So our standing balance today is going to be a tree pose, and then same leg will come out of that pose and then go into dancer pose. So tree, let's stand on the left leg. So when you stand on your left leg, you still have to lift up. So often we kind of stand on one leg and go like, we drop down. So I want you to be aware of that. You don't want to sink at all. So spread the left toes so that you can stand really strong on your left leg. And then bring your right, I'm going to bring my hands to my hips. It just helps me. And then my right leg's going to bend right in front. And then I'm going to externally rotate it and bring my foot wherever it works for me. Today, I feel like I can take it to the top of my knee. You don't want to be on your knee. And then just hold it here for a moment. Find that nice lift to the body. Find breath that is flowing easily. Shoulders are relaxed. See if you can find a gaze to concentrate on. Taking one more breath. And then let's just come out of it for a moment. So you really felt that leg that you were standing on. It's all good. You're going to stand on that same leg again, not collapsing. I'm going to take my hands to my hips again. So I'm going to show it to you this way. I'm going to, the same knee that was bent forward and then out to the side for tree is now going to be bent backward. So my thighs and my knees are parallel. I'm going to take my right hand and grab hold of that right foot, either on the outside or the inside of that foot. And this is my first step. And then I lift my left arm up and I find a back bend. And then I hinge forward to find my dancer. Yeah, use a wall. It's basically standing on one leg with one leg behind you and one arm in front. That's it, Susan, very nice. Release slowly. We're gonna come back to it. Just relax a moment. Yeah, did you get a hamstring cramp? Hamstring cramp, Alan?
No, I did cramp. But
Okay. All right, so let's do tree on the other side. So right leg, I'm going to take my hands to my hips again. It just kind of gives me some stability right here. It's not necessary that you do it, but for me it really helps. Spreading my right toes so that I can bend my left knee in front. Then I take my leg to the outside. I'm externally rotating, and then I'm going to tuck it in for tree. You're trying to get your hips square, shoulders square. So other places for your hands are thumbs in toward your heart center because that kind of can stabilize you as well. Try to find a focal point for your eyes. And wiggling is okay. It's just trying to find some equilibrium. One more breath. and then coming out of that. So tree pose is supposed to be a very cooling pose. So even though it's hard to do, it can calm you. Yeah, Susan, that looks really good. So same leg, I'm going to face this way now so that you can see. I'm standing on my right leg. First thing I'm doing is bending my left leg and having my thighs and my knees together. And then I'm going to take hold of my foot, either on the outside of my foot or the inside, depending upon how your shoulder feels. And you can stay here and pause. You can even find a little bit of a back bend here. Your right arm goes up, and then you hinge at your hips. You take a back bend and you hinge it. And you find a focal point for your eyes. You pull that right arm bone back into the socket. You kick that back foot into the hand. You slowly come out of there. And you shake all that out. It's all done. All right. Let's take a wide-legged forward fold. So the legs are pretty wide here. Toes face forward. And then this is your hip joint that I want to talk about as though we were doing dancer pose. So with your dancer, you're going to try to find it, with this pose, I'm sorry, you're going to try to find a back bend. So you can't see me, but I'm back bending. This is so hard. So I'm here with my legs wide and I'm finding a back bend. So all I'm doing with this back bend is I'm keeping the back bend, but I'm hinging at my hips. Can you see that? Yes. And then once I get down here, I'm just going to relax my head, neck and shoulders down. Yeah. So I want you to do what you need to do here. I kind of sway my hips from side to side because that feels good to me, to stretch that. You can bend your knees a little bit so that you can feel a little bit closer to the ground. Take some nice deep breath. And then take your hands on your shins and find a flat back. Relax your shoulders, drop your shoulder blades down. Make sure your knees are not locked. Now from here, you're going to transfer your hands to your hips, and right at that hip crease, you're going to come up with a straight spine. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're just hinging here, right? You're on changing the shape of your spine. Now let's go into Warrior 2 with the left foot forward. So finding your Warrior 2. And then as though you're between two panes of glass, you're trying to get your shoulders and your hips to face the long side of your mat. And you're on a balance beam, kind of here. Take your left and right arm out. Press down a little bit so you can engage the arms, and then relax your shoulders. So find a gazing point for your eyes. Pull the belly in and up. And then take that left palm, turn it up, and take a side bend toward your right. So that right hand could go down the right leg. Watch your neck. You're looking up if you can. If you can't, here's another, this is kind of cool. You're turning your head and you're going to look toward your right foot. It kind of helps the side bend. And then come back up to Warrior 2. And then this time, you're just going to straighten your left leg. And you're going to tuck that left hip underneath the right hip for a triangle. So the right arm goes up and the left arm goes down. So you should be seeing a little bit of a triangle in your left side. So if you're side bending here, you're not going to get a triangle. So let's take both arms by our ears. Actually, take them back behind your head, behind your neck. And then see if you can get a really straight, long side on your left and your right. Lift your head back. And then come back up and find Warrior 2. Now side angle. You're going to bend your left elbow and take your forearm on your thigh and your right bicep by your ear. You could do the same thing here. You could take both arms by your ears and you could take both hands back behind your neck. And it would still be side angle. And then you're coming back to warrior two. So lift your torso so it's straight up and down. And then take your hands on your hips and then straighten the left knee and come back to your wide angle. Now, little tricky. You're going to toe heel the legs together, right here. And then as best you can, you're going to stand on your left leg and cross your right thigh over the left thigh. So it looks like this. And then you're going to sit. So it looks like a chair pose, only your right leg is folded over your left. And you're going to take your hands in your hip crease. I know, it's really hard. And then see if you can lift the weight off that right foot. I know. And then come back up. Shake it out. Same thing on the other side. Stand on your right leg. You can bend at your hip and bend at your knees a little bit. It's really buoyant. And then you're going to try to take your left thigh and cross it over your right thigh. So you're not just crossing at the knees, you're crossing at your thighs. And then you bend the knees. So you're bending your right knee. Now my kickstand is down on the floor. I'm just going to try to lift it off. And I'm sitting on one leg. It's really hard. And then you go ahead and put that foot down and come back up. Now, we're almost finished. We have to go and do our warrior stuff on the other side. So you're going to take your right leg forward and find your warrior two. So it's kind of nice to practice yoga for a while because after a while you're going like, yes, warrior two, I know that one, right? At least that's how I feel. When somebody says warrior two, I'm like, I've been here. I know what this is like. And so everything is the shoulders and the hips are facing the long side of your mat. But as you take your arms out to the side, you're looking toward the short side of your mat because you're looking over that right middle finger. And so we're reversing this so that palm faces up and you add an up and over toward your back leg. If you can, you're looking up. This is a side bend. That left hand is going down the left leg. Try this, stay in your side bend, but turn your gaze to look at your left foot. And it might give you a little bit more of a side bend. Then come back to the center to find your warrior two. Really find it. So you're not leaning forward or backward. You're right in the middle there. Now from here, you're going to straighten your right knee. And then you're going to hinge. So that's why it's important to find this hinge. The hinge of the right hip goes underneath the left. And the right hand can go down, the left hand up. You can look up if it feels all right to do that. But if you notice, there is a triangle with the legs and the floor, and a triangle with the right arm and leg and right side of your body. Now come back up, find your warrior two, and then we'll find our side angle. So your right forearm can go on your right thigh. It just touches it, it doesn't lean on it. And then your left bicep goes by your ear. And you can look up. And to make sure that this right side is not collapsing or side bending, you can bring that right arm up and maybe the hands go back behind the neck. And then just see if you can get your torso nice and straight on both sides of the body. I find that really helpful. Make sure there's weight in the outside of the left foot so that you can find the left arch lifting off a little bit. And then come back to your warrior two, bring your torso up. Now this time, we're going to cartwheel down to frame your right foot. You're going to come back to your crescent lunge. And then from here, place your hands down so you can lift your right leg back and find your plank. So here you are in your plank again. You can drop knees, chest, chin, or I'm going to drop knees, chest, chin, bending my elbows, coming down to the mat. So here we are on our belly again. This time the hands are going to go down by your side. So the palms face down by your side. Turn your head from side to side here. Susan, you might have to take your glasses off. So you're turning your head from side to side. And then bring it back to the middle. We'll just do one set of locusts, but we'll do it in 3 parts. So the first thing you want to do is prepare the belly and the ribs, and the lower spine is long. You're going to shrug your shoulders. Take your head, neck, and shoulders forward and up off the mat. And then take your arms, lengthen them back before you lift them. And then lengthen the legs before you lift them. And you're in your full locust, and you better breathe. Stretch yourself out. Keep weight equally in both hips. Slowly lower down. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Sit back into child's pose. Very nice. Take a nice breath here. And however is comfortable for you to get back onto your back, I want you to do it. I'm actually stacking my spine up and sitting back on my heels for a moment. And then I'm just going to drop my hips to one side so I can come down onto my back. Yay. So when you're done, you're just going to notice how you feel. I mean, are you relieved? I'm always like, yes, well, on the back. So create some space, turn your head from side to side. Maybe the head the neck gets massaged by your hands, and the shoulders get massaged. You're just gonna come into Shavasana from here. So you're just gonna straighten your legs and let them fall out to the side. And straighten your arms by your side and let them fall out. And then let yourself feel like totally held by the mat. Sink down. And just let yourself lose yourself here. So let go. Start to breathe deeply, and then let go of the breath too. Notice the rise and fall of the belly and the ribs. Notice how heavy things feel. Like you really couldn't lift them if you wanted to. Notice your jaw, see if you're clenching. Your face soften. Open the fingers so that you have the palm open toward the ceiling. Relax your shoulders one more time. Again, feel how heavy things feel. Then you're going to slowly come a little bit deeper into your breath. So you're going to keep track of the breath. You're going to see if you can inhale through the nose and really expand your ribs. Belly too, like you're inflating a balloon, and then deflate it. Drag your feet up closer. So you're bending your knees more. So the feet can go down onto the mat. And you're just going to drop your knees from side to side. Slowly, so they're really heavy. When they go over to your favorite side and it feels right, you're just going to go over onto your side and rest your head on the pillow of your arms. Notice how things have slowed down. And then slowly make your way to a seat, so no hurry. Just as slowly as you can, just coming up and finding a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. Take your hands to heart center. Find some really nice deep breath. So bring the thumbs between your eyebrows and you're lifting your chest, but dropping your chin toward your chest. And just pause here a moment, just noticing how you feel, what your thoughts are. Hopefully you feel a bit more clear. Relax your shoulders. And namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You did it.
We did.
And it's Friday.
It is.
So, do you have a nice weekend planned?
We
Yes,
actually have a Zoom birthday party tonight for a friend.